At the time that we started working on Crazy Rhythms, we were listening to a lot of like Eno, Fripp and Eno, a lot of his ambient stuff and Philip Glass, like Steve Reich. So I think a lot of what they were doing probably had a big influence on us. So with Loveless Love, I mean, that's where that part could have grew out of, like that sort of harmonic part that Fripp plays in Evening Star. But with that, again, it was building the track. When you listen to it, there's a lot of movement right and left, especially between the guitars. And it's a very active mix. I mean, you're just kind of going back and forth listening to what everyone in the band is doing.
I guess the basic idea was just to have something that built really from sparse and slow to fast and full. A lot of it has to do with just playing with each other, listening to each other, and wanting to express the widest dynamic range, not have it be boring. So you tend to do things to add to the drama or the tension, or because there are so few chord changes, we need to rely on other things like interplay and the percussion and the tempos and all that other stuff.
So the other thing that I think was a consideration was when we sequenced the album, as a point of note, we actually alternated like minor key and major key with each track until it gets to the very end, which even today we kind of always considered like Raised Eyebrows and Crazy Rhythms. They always kind of fit together in our minds nicely. So when we play live, we still put those two songs together. So in the sequencing, the first track starts out as a minor key and then goes to major, minor, major, minor. Just felt like they loaned itself to one another when you're following a minor key and with something that's major, kind of added to everything, complemented the previous track.
Well, a lot of them are minor key, really. But it's not like we tally up the songs like, oh, we have 4 majors, we needed another minor. It's just whatever mood you're trying to convey. Sequencing, I don't remember being much of a problem if it just kind of fell into place. It's sort of like once you get the cornerstones, once you know the beginning song and the end song of each side, then it's easy to fill in the other ones.
I don't remember us making too many changes in the sequencing. Kind of came up with it, listened to it, and stuck with it. But I think we got it right. When Glenn did the guitar lead, it's the first lead in the song before the verse starts, we did this one thing where he was playing the lead and I kept moving his pickup toggle switch. So as the lead progresses and gets fuller, and again, it's probably something you'd completely miss in a different environment, but you can hear the guitar lead like cutting in and out on both sides, left and right. So there's that I remember, which was kind of fun. Glenn was able to do it without too much distraction, me messing with his guitar, which is great. It's a great lead. It really is.
I wanted the stuttering effect. I wasn't sure how to go about it, but I think I got that from like Anyway, Anyhow, Anywhere at the end. There's that feedback that's stuttering, Pete Townsend. So I think the only way to get it was to use Bill's guitar, because you kind of need a guitar with a volume for each pickup. You turn one pickup off and then toggle between that and the active pickup. But I couldn't do that obviously while I was playing, so I asked Bill to work the toggle switch. So I'd be playing the guitar and he'd be wiggling the toggle switch. And then it wasn't until later when I read a story about recording of Peggy Sue, where Buddy Holly wanted to switch pickups for that rhythm section in the middle where it just strums. But he kept interrupting the strum. So he had, I think it was the other guitar player, Nicky, kneel down and like flick the switch right when that came in and then flick it back when it was over. It kind of reminded me of that.
What is kind of probably foremost in my memory of recording that album was the amount of fun that we had, because we didn't have a lot of experience. So a lot of it was twisting knobs and seeing how it sounded or hearing how it sounded, and, and kind of doing a lot of laughing about what we discovered. Like, oh, wow, that does that. That's great.
I think that fact that we were like kind of young and experimenting with the recording process was really exciting. So the idea of like putting things together, that was cool, it was creative.
It doesn't seem important, like to know what matters then. It happened, they already did. I don't remember it. Loveless love is not my plan. Loveless love isn't romance. Loveless love, I think it's cool, I think it's a thing. Loveless love, don't care what I think. Nobody's perfect. It's not the way you were raised to be. Try to understand. That's not the way to live.
We never really talked much about, to me, that's like not the way you go about playing music. Talk about it, you just play. And if you do wind up talking, it's usually try to resolve some kind of an issue or a problem. But if you don't have an issue or a problem, then you really don't spend much time talking.
We're not big talkers when it comes to discussing these things. We just have always had a nice fit together, one complementing the other. And I think it really, a lot of it just comes down to listening, rhythmic accents here and there and things like that. What sort of frequencies are we playing at, tones we're getting, and there's not a lot of discussion about it. And I think really over time, the band as a whole has gotten to be better listeners with each other. So not a lot of discussion when it comes to these parts, just playing and listening.